Hi, I'm Savannah from Officeworks Fitzroy, and today we're going to show you how to make some beads using our new Born Oven Baked Clay range. DIY gifts are made really easy with oven baked clay. Today we're going to have a go at making some beads, but the possibilities are really endless for jewellery and stuff like that, and any design. So to create our own beads, we're just going to need a few things today. You're going to need your clay in the colours that you like. We have the Born Art Clay Kit here. It comes with quite a few options and most tools that you'll be needing. The second tool you will be needing is a bead maker. The Sculpey brand one works really well for this. You get a variety of 3 different sizes. Also, just a metal skewer. I find the metal skewers work the best. That way you can keep them inside the bead as you're baking them. And an oven for baking. Here we have a convection oven, but your home oven will work fine. So we have a few staple designs that we're going to have a go at today. So just a few examples of the kind of beads that you can make. So we're going to start with a simple marbled design. We're just going to cut out a few slices of clay. For a marbled design, we're going to use 2 colours. And you're going to select the size of bead. Because this is a design inside the bead, we're just going to choose the largest bead so we really can see all that detail. And to make sure you have enough, you're just sort of going to squish into that, and then you can take it out. We will have a little bit of extra, but that's okay. And to begin your marble design, you're literally just going to squish and layer and squish and layer and squish and layer. And then we're just going to roll it up a little bit in the hand. To start our design, we're going to just make sure that sort of fits nice, and then looks good. It's a little bit extra, so we're just going to take a bit off. We've got our design here. We're going to pop it into the Sculpey bead maker, so I'm going to make sure that I have the 18mm matching tubes into the Sculpey kit. And then you're just going to place the bead in the center. Sort of, you want to make sure it doesn't really touch over those lines, or you will end up with a little bit of a seam. And you're just going to start rolling your bead back and forward. Alrighty, so it's got a pretty nice round bead there. As you can see, it's a little bit less round, so we're just going to pack in a little bit more clay. And don't worry if your bead isn't fully round the first time you take it out, you're just going to place it back in and give it a second little wiggle. And there we have a lovely marbled bead. We're going to take 2 pieces of clay, again, at 2 different colours. So you want something that contrasts, otherwise your design won't be as noticeable. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this one. So this one we're going to make a design on top of the bead. 13mm. Pop that in there, and again, I'm going to start rolling. Just a little bit of a seam there, so if you have a seam and you think you need a bit more, you can just put a little bit like that. And let's go again. Alrighty, again, a lovely round bead. So for an inlay design, we're just going to start to knead our other contrasting colour. I like to break it up a bit just to get it nice and soft. Going to roll it out nice and thin, and then we're going to start laying it around our bead to create sort of like a stripy design. you're just going to wrap that design all around. Now I'm just going to keep thinning it out where I need. And now, to even this one out, you're just going to roll it by hand on the table in circular motions. And eventually, it should flatten back out into a ball with your stripy design. So now that we have our oven ready clay, we're going to poke some holes in it for the beads, and you're just going to begin by finding the center of your bead. I find the easiest way to do this is to put your bead on the surface, and from directly above it, just poke right in. And don't worry, if your little bead has become a little bit less round, that is totally fine and normal, because what you usually do is you'll pop the hole back in the other side, and it should even it back out. Make sure you leave the hole a little bit larger than you want, as clay does shrink in the oven when you bake it. These Sculpey ones have a nice taper, so you can choose anything from a thin string to quite a thick rope. Once you've got your hole in it, we're going to leave it, and we're going to do our next one now. Same thing, going to find the center of my bead that I like the best. One final roll before I pop them in the oven, just in case they've got any flat bottoms from when I have squished them down. Now, if you're nervous about your beads collapsing in the oven, or that the holes might shrink up, you can put them in the oven like this to ensure that your hole will remain there. We're going to pop them in the oven at 120 degrees fan force, or 130 degrees if it's not, for 15 to 30 minutes. And the average rule is about 15 minutes per 6 millimeters of thickness. So for a bead, I'm always going to recommend we go for that half an hour. And just be gentle, that's why I like to use these, so we have a bit of space between me and the oven. And I can just pop them right in there. Once your beads are finished, you can choose to finish them in multiple ways. You can leave them with their natural sort of matte finish, or you can make them glossy or satin with a varnish, or you might choose to paint some details on your own design. You can buy a wide range of oven baked clay and accessories in store or online at Officeworks today.